Welcome to the stand-up class showcase. Give yourselves a hand for coming out. Oh, hell yeah. This is going to be a fun-ass show. It's going to be so good. So these students who you are going to see have been preparing for the last 8 weeks. They've been working really, really hard on their material. They've been honing, crafting, editing, practicing. And now they are going to show that to you guys, okay? But it's not just their jobs, all right? It's also your job to be a great audience, which I know that you guys are going to be that already. I don't even need to say that, because you guys are already going to be a great audience. Am I right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So when you hear something that is funny, you let them know by laughing. Okay? So you're not watching TV, like just like a loud snort through your nose one time is not sufficient. This is a social engagement. And so like you're having a conversation where like, you know, you laugh and then they go like, that feels good. I'm going to keep going. Okay? Cool. All right. You guys are doing excellent so far. All right. So another housekeeping thing to get out of the way. This is a non-Google zone. Okay? Some people might say some words that are like, they're not normally things that you say in an office environment, you know? Like some F words. Well, there's only like one that, you know, but they might say it. They might reference the fact that like sex exists. Right? No, you can't do that in an office environment a lot of times because, you know, HR gets involved and that kind of thing. But that is not how we're going to handle it here tonight. If you don't like something that somebody says, then, you know, just kind of like, I don't know, pretend they didn't say it. I don't know. Or if it's like really bad, just like pretend you have to go to the bathroom and don't come back. Nobody will even notice. Like, it'll be fine. Or say like, oh, I have to, you know, go wash my dog or something like that. Like, make up an excuse. Actually, you actually don't have to make up an excuse. It'd be weird if you actually said why you're leaving while you were leaving. Hey, welcome. Okay, what do we... Oh, yeah, another thing is that... So, when you are hearing the jokes that these comedians are telling you tonight, these are new jokes. When you watch a comedian on Netflix or HBO or Comedy Central, what they're telling you on stage represents hundreds or thousands of repetitions of those jokes, where they are just like crafting a little bit over time, right? And so that's a product that they've been working on for a long time. So when you are hearing the funny jokes that these comedians are telling you tonight, on top of that, those jokes being funny, notice that like those are new jokes that are funny. That's amazing. That is so cool. Okay? So in that theme, I am going to do some jokes that I wrote in the car on the way over here. Let's see how that goes. The only way that I would ever bail on doing these new jokes is if, like, you don't laugh at, like, 2 of them in a row or something. Otherwise, I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stay on the theme of new jokes. Happy holidays. Or, I don't know, Merry Christmas, I guess, if you're sensitive. I love the War on Christmas. It is my favorite part of the season because that is the only war ever where the weapons are wishing someone well in a way that doesn't specify their favorite holiday. I love that kind of thing. What was next on that? You know, everybody's got their own trauma. I get it. But to me, from an outsider's perspective, I cannot think of a more minor offense than telling someone to have a wonderful holiday of their choosing. But these people who get offended by that are just, I don't know, they're like, well, what if I forget, what if I celebrate the wrong holiday now? What do I do then? All right, that joke didn't work, but that's fine. But even for the Christmas zealots, even for them, there are at least 2 major holidays coming up. So happy holidays still make sense in that sense. So it can't just be that they're afraid we're not going to include Christmas. So to appease the Christmas zealots, I've been telling them, have a wonderful Christmas and a shitty New Year's. Okay, that's a keeper. All right. I've been doing some Christmas shopping. I went to Target, and I had to use... What? Whatever, I didn't get you anything anyway. And I went, and I had to use the bathroom when I was there, and in the stall next to me was some dude listening to porn loudly. I mean, probably watching it too, but all I knew was he was listening to it. And I was like, dude, what the hell? You can't have that behavior here. You get that out of here, and you take that to Walmart where it belongs. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, it just fits with their brand, you know? I'm big into brands. I like thinking about brands and branding decisions. This is going to be a little bit older of a joke. Like the Lyft, like their brand, like right now it just says Lyft and it's pink, right? But it has gone through some metamorphosis over time. When they first started, they had a big pink fabric mustache. Do you guys remember that? Yeah. What an amazing decision for them to have that. Because it's fabric, it goes on the outside of the car, it's dirty like immediately. Like that, the thought process that went into that decision, I love it. Because they must have been like, what do people want to ride around in? A boring old taxi? No. People want to have the feeling of riding around in a Muppet who hit rock bottom. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Another branding decision that I love, Trojan condoms. Trojan. That is genius. You're aware of that story, right? The Trojan condom. There are some people who wanted to get into a place where the other people didn't want them there at all. And so they got in through trickery and deceit. And then once they got in there, the fucking thing broke open and spilled out everywhere. Ruined a bunch of lives. The Trojan. Yeah, let's make that our condom brand. That's an association everyone's gonna love. Alright, that's the stuff I wanted to try out. Thank you guys. You guys are an awesome audience. This is gonna be such a fun show. Your next comedian tonight, he took the class a little while ago, and he has been killing it on the comedy scene ever since, and I love his stuff, I always do, and I'm going to love it this time, and so are you. Put your hands together real loud for Darren Busing!
How's everyone doing tonight? All right, before I get started, put my notes down there. Do we have anyone here from sales? Anybody? One person. All right, let's give her a big hand. Bring home that cold, hard cash. Oh, here. Sorry, didn't see the hand. I saw the face. Money that we then spend on Halloween parties and subsidizing wannabe comics like me. Remember our new motto, Google, that money won't burn itself. Do we have anyone here from robotics? Anyone work in robotics? So they're all, one person over there. Oh, you're right. Well, you're sitting from somebody, that's good. Normally they're all off on their own, like, I don't need you people, I make my own friends. But you're sitting with somebody, that's progress. That's progress, I like that. Where are my Android people at? Anyone from Android? Nobody. Oh, that's a shame. I was gonna congratulate them because those guys in shopping are keeping the Eurozone afloat all by themselves. That is really impressive. Now all we need is YouTube to fuck up one more time and they'll have enough money to fix Brexit. They'll all be set. Well, finally, the campfire in paradise has been extinguished at long last. Even from a distance, the smoke was terrible. Now, I work over in Mountain View, which is a city that does not promise much excitement, but it at least claims that you can view the fucking mountains. For 2 weeks, no mountain viewing allowed. Not here in Mountain View. We have standards. What's next? They're going to tell me that Pleasant Hill is all full of douchebags? Because I thought the douchebags all worked in Cupertino. Had to wear one of those N95 masks during the fire. Remember those sexy things? Took it everywhere I went outside. I took it. I even went to the farmer's market with one where I realized I had become the ultimate white bread Darth Vader. This is not the fennel you're looking for. Okay, next one. Sometimes people don't think through their decor all the way. For example, there's this house I drive by on the way to work. It's all decked out for Christmas. It even has an inflatable Santa and 8 inflatable reindeer out on the lawn. Festive, right? Problem is, in the daytime, it's all unplugged, so everything collapses and it looks like the North Pole has suffered a mass shooting. I guess Rudolph finally won the reindeer Hunger Games. But at night, everything changes. Someone flips a switch, everything reinflates, instant Christmas. Damn. I mean, I wish when I was feeling down, someone would come around and just blow hot air up my ass. That made me feel better. I guess that's why people go to Trump rallies. Don't relax, people relax. Sundar's not sending our names to Congress. He's too busy sending them to China. Jesse, you're good at editing these videos, aren't you?
No.
All right, I was an early tester for Google Duplex, that thing where the phone makes a phone call for you to make appointments. I love it, it's great. It announces itself as an artificial assistant, which I liked because when I started a new relationship with a business, I want to be clear that I am not interested in interacting with them as people. Duplex helps me be honest about that. And it's so easy. Just before the show, I asked it to make me a haircut appointment. Hey, I got 70% coverage. My hair OKRs are 5. Anyway, made a haircut appointment, and now I can look and see I have a 10:30 tomorrow to go fuck yourself. Oh, man, that's harsh. I've been in this valley a long time. Long enough that in my first job out of school, I had an office. Ooh. I had to share it, but it had 4 walls, a ceiling, and a door. Ooh. But with every job, that office shrunk. Until now it is here at a desk, here at Google, where I'm enjoying the glory that is the open plan office so that I may better interact with you, my esteemed colleagues. Hate to break it to you, y'all ain't that fucking interesting. I know I'm not. But we know why they do it, right? It's to save money. Show of hands, who else here has ordered a fancy extra monitor just so they don't have to stare at their diagonal neighbor all day? That's right, we're getting our rolls back if we have to do it 2,000 pixels at a time. By the time I leave Google, my desk is going to look like it belongs to a day trader that works for the pre-crime unit. That's my time. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for Darren.
Yeah.
That was so good. All right. Your next comic has just finished taking a class. This is her. This is, I mean, for a lot of people, it's their big showcase. I didn't need to stipulate any of that. She's very funny, and it was a pleasure having her in class. You guys are gonna love her. Put your hands together real loud for Leslie Litzenberger.
Are you guys having fun? Yeah. That's going to be a hard one to follow. I'm Leslie. When I first signed up to take the class, I excitedly told my mom, who told me, "You're funny on accident." My coworker told me if I get nervous up here to just picture you all in your underwear. Oh, I didn't know they make adult underoos. That's so cool. Very cool. So, don't you hate it when you get introduced to somebody and you forget their name right away? Yep. Yeah. I'm especially bad at that because I actually just forget to listen when they say their name, which is so rude. I understand how rude it is, trust me. And I got introduced to my new neighbor and befriended her, and I forgot to listen to her name, which is really awkward because the longer our friendship goes, the harder it is to say, like, "Oh, hey girl, what's your name?" It's been 6 months. Yeah, it's super awkward. I put her phone number in my phone, and I was like, "Oh, this is how I'll get her name," you know? So I was like, "Oh, good." Putting in my phone, I'm like, "Oh, how do you spell your name?" The common way? Okay. So she's on my phone as neighbor lady. Okay. Then I thought, oh, I'll ask her, "Hey, do you have any nicknames?" And she said, "My coworkers call me by my last name." Okay. So she's so sweet, though. When I got the job at Google, she wanted to take me out to dinner. So she texted me and she said, "I made reservations for us under my name." So I get there to the restaurant, and of course, I get there first, of course. So I go up to the hostess and I said, "Hi, we have reservations for 2. And she said, "What name?" And I said, "Oh, the reservation for 2 at 6. And she said, "Okay, well, what name?" And I said, "The reservation for 2 at 6. And she said, "I have 8 reservations for 2 at 6. And then I realized it wouldn't do me any good if I saw the names anyway because I wouldn't know what their name was. So for one of my New Year's resolutions is to listen when people say their name because it's respectful and I don't want to be an asshole. My other New Year's resolution for 2019, as always, is to lose weight. Everybody got resolutions? Anybody else going to lose weight? I'll pretty much do anything to lose weight at this point. I mean it this year. I'll do anything but diet or exercise. For another New Year's resolution, I'm going to try to eliminate certain words from the English language. Some words just sound gross. I don't like to say them or hear them. Ooh, this is going to gross me out. Words like moist, or ointment, or my favorite, urethra. So gross. Speaking of gross things that need to be thrown out, this may come as a surprise to you, but I don't think this presidency is working out. And I don't think he wants it to work out. If you just think about the things he's been saying, he said, let's see, let's build a wall, right? One of my favorites is, if she wasn't my daughter, I'd do her. I don't hate Mexicans. I love Taco Bell. We won the poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. Real Velcro. But the thing I hate the most about him is he didn't appreciate my campaign slogan that I kept tweeting at him that I thought he should use. Orange is the new black. Thank you so much. This has been so fun. Thank you.
One more time for Leslie. Is Neeli here? No, that's fine. That's okay. Doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Is Morosky here? No. Cool. Could have emailed. That's fine. Is Lon here? Sweet. This might be a short show. Jenny. Right on. Jenny didn't email me either. This is fine. VJ, I know, is here. Okay, all right. I know he is here, but he wanted to go. So this is funny. He wanted to go later in the show, and I was like, yeah, we'll put you 6 comics back. It's actually where his spot would have been in the lineup anyway. Alex. Chew. Drew. Drew is here. Yeah. This guy is so funny. I love his material. Put him together for Drew Muddle. God damn it, I would have asked him if I known he was coming up next.
Not the first time. So, a few years ago, I found myself single, and it wasn't really a choice. It wasn't the kind of single where I was casually looking, like, oh, one day I'll find someone. It's the kind of single where, like, every single interaction could have been love at first sight. It's like you meet someone, you're flirting with them, you make eye contact, it's all coy, and they ask you whether they want paper or plastic for your order. Or you just get turned on by, like, people everywhere, or places, or even things. One time I was like looking at a red light, and the red light was looking back at me, and I was just like begging for it to turn green, and that was the whole thing. It was a little hard. So anyways, I was pretty single, and I realized that there's a line between being single and being creepy. And this is a story about that line that I found. So one Saturday afternoon, I was sitting on my couch, and I got invited to a Facebook event, which was pretty exciting. And as a single person, when you look at a Facebook event, the first thing you do is just go through the guest list, right? It's like, how many people there are cute? What is the ratio? What is the probability that I'm going to find my soulmate at this event? And it doesn't matter whether this is like a 10-person house party or SantaCon. It just, no matter what, you are looking and you are counting. And so this particular day, I clicked on this girl's profile, who's pretty cute, and I kept clicking on photos. Just click. They were pretty cute, and then I suddenly realized that I was now looking at photos of 2008. She was at her middle school graduation with her mom, and it was a little bit much, so I decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to stop here. This is where I cross the line. But then Facebook asked me if I wanted to tag myself in this photo. It happens all the time, and I didn't really want to, so suddenly my hand slipped, and of course I tagged myself in her photo. And Facebook says, congratulations, you tagged yourself in the photo of Bethany and her mom in 8th grade at the middle school class. And, 3 things crossed my mind at that point. I put my phone down, and the first thing was like, fuck! Do I need to register myself as an offender somewhere? I don't know what you do in these situations. And then, I had this thought about Bethany, and I was like, man, is this her first internet creeper, or are there many Indian men who message her on Facebook? Where do I stand? I feel bad. Maybe she's gonna have trauma for the rest of her life. And the third thing that I think is, does she think I'm cute? Because that's really what we're going for here. So, I put my phone down, wondering what I should be doing, and then I get a message from Bethany, and it was 8 words. And I looked at this, and it was 8 words. Did you just tag yourself in my profile photo? And I realized here, I looked at it, the message was read, I was active now, she was active now, it just happened, and I had 2 options here. I could either respond and tell her what happened, Or I could not respond. And those were basically, the only two options. And so I decided I was going to respond. And so I just decided to come clean. I was like, hey, Bethany, I saw your profile on this event. I clicked on your photo. I kept clicking on your photos. I clicked on your photos some more. But basically, I think you're pretty cute. How's your Sunday going? And what was pretty remarkable was that she responded so well. She loved it. She ate it up. And so we ended up having a conversation for a little while. We flirted. We went on a date. And things went pretty well. And the weird part is I told my friends about this, and now I've empowered this group of tech single people to just go tag themselves in profiles everywhere. So in case you get people tagged on, know that they probably just think you're cute. Thank you very much. That's my time.
Good. I think some of us have been there. All right, I've been there. Excellent job. Your next comic is definitely here. He is very funny. He was so great to have in class. Very positive presence. And he's going to do something that I'm pretty sure I haven't seen before. I'm excited for this. Put your hands together real loud for Alex Jose.
Hey everyone, so excited to be here, so excited to perform some comedic music for you tonight, which is something we didn't cover at all in the class, so yeah, it's going to be really bad. But first, I have some, just a couple of jokes I wanted to try out. They're not musical jokes, but we'll get to that eventually. So yeah, this first one's a question. What do you call your ability to enunciate during traditional European folk dances? That's your contradiction. Someone knows what contra is, that's good. Yeah, now I'm going to make some jokes about children. Yeah, I've been wondering if if children who commit especially heinous crimes can be tried as adults, can adults who commit especially incompetent crimes be tried as children? I'm asking for a friend. But like, for example, if you were like maybe robbing a truck of Beanie Babies, and you got caught because maybe like your shoes were tied together, and like tying your shoes has never been your strong point or whatever, which is okay. Would you go to like a jail for like dumb little babies or something? Like, is that how that would work? And then I guess like convicts at adult jail would never really respect you after that. And but maybe on weekends they'd like come and read books to you. And, I mean, that'd be kind of nice, I guess. One thing that makes me really sad about the future in my life is that I know someday I'm going to be outside on a cold day, and a little child will be playing and breathing vapor with their breath. And they're going to shout to their mom, and they're going to say, "Mom, look, it's like I'm vaping." Speaking of kids, I have some jokes that I think the kids in the audience will really like. These ones are about dinosaurs. What do you call a doctor who works on dinosaurs? That's a gynecologist. Thank you for laughing at that one. I was feeling bad about driving my gasoline powered car the other day, because that's a couple decades ago. And but then I had a realization that, as science tells us, dinosaurs have turned into oil. Oil is deep underground, and we're pumping up this oil from deep underground, and we're burning it in our cars. I realized oils are basically dinosaurs in hell. So by pumping them out of the ground, we're liberating dinosaurs from dinosaur hell and freeing them into the heavens, which is really a beautiful thing. And so you're kind of an asshole if you don't. Yeah, so those were all of my dinosaur-themed jokes. But speaking of things kids like, I have some superhero-themed jokes now. But actually, there's only one of them, and it's about supervillains. So I guess the real lesson here for the kids in the audience is that you should get used to disappointment. So I like the idea of a supervillain with a superpower that really inhibits their ability to do evil. Like, for example, a supervillain that only attacks impoverished children, and his evil power is summoning bowls of warm soup. And kind of these poor children are like, oh, please stop, no more soup. And he's like, ha, I'm doing evil, but really he's not, that's the joke. Thanks for laughing. Speaking of villains, we're mostly tech workers here. And, so I have some jokes about technology as well. I think it's good to preface all my jokes with what they're about, and then you're not surprised. So yeah, the other day my computer's having some problems, and a warning popped up, and it said, I know something is wrong, which is weird because computers don't usually speak in first person. It said, I know something is wrong, but I can't self-diagnose the problem. And I was like, damn computer, I know exactly what that's like. Yeah. So I'm really, I don't know if you've heard about it yet, but I'm really excited about the next generation of Magic School Bus. It's coming out soon. Really excited about it. I loved like the original show, but I was a little bit put off to find out that in this new season the school bus drives itself. So, yeah. That's the end. Leaving on a happy note.
Oh man, that was great. I love musical comedy. Excellent job, super funny. Your next comic took the class back in April, and he was very funny then. He's funny now. He's been funny in between. I can't wait for this. Put your hands together real loud for VJB.
Get that out. Thank you, Jesse. As Jesse was saying, I took his class in April, and like that overeager Asian kid, I'm still doing my homework. I've been hitting the open mics, doing a few shows, trying to get my grade to go up from B to A. So I'm going to try some new material today. You'll be my dog food testers. So any of you are not from Google, ask your Google host to tell you that joke afterwards. Well, we'll draw the line at A/B testing, so no A/B testing of jokes. So we'll try an engineering approach to stand-up. The last time I did engineering approach, it was to base ballroom dancing. It worked so well. Hopefully this will go a little bit better. Apparently there's no engineering your way around 2 left feet. So holiday travel season, anyone flying this season? Wow, lots of people. I like traveling too. I seem to relish the heightened security measures. So. Especially as a brown guy. So flying while brown is a whole other experience. There's some activities that you do while brown, which are perfectly normal. Coding while brown. Spelling bee while brown. Very natural, very normal. Like bread and butter. Like Trump and Twitter. But flying while brown is a whole other story. So when I go to the airport, I mentally see 3 channels. Right? There's the green channel. You have nothing to declare, you just whiz right through. There's the red channel, oh, you've got some shit to declare. And then there's the brown channel. Right, so you ask, oh, yeah, so you have anything to declare? Just some emotional baggage from society's collective stereotyping. And if that's United Airlines, so that will be $25 for excess baggage. We make fun of TSA, but they've provided a lifetime of material for brown comedians. So TSA is amused. But sometimes we do stuff to justify TSA, right? So this incident happened a few years ago. So this was a time when a lot of Googlers had these laptop stickers on their laptops, and the sticker said, my other computer is a data center. It was very cool, very clever. So my manager at that time, he looked at it and said, yeah, that's okay. But our team, our brand, needs a little more oomph, little more edge. So what he did was, he ordered all of us laptop stickers that said, my other computer is made of razor wire and hate. Well, we put them all on our laptops, felt totally badass. Felt like the IT department of the street gang MS-13. I didn't think much of it till the next time I was flying. So I take my laptop out, put it in the bin. The TSA agent looks at the laptop, looks at me, looks at the laptop, looks at me. I could actually see his mental calculations missing. On the one hand, this is a First Amendment free speech thing. On the other hand, what the heck is this shit? So then he realized what he has to do, and he randomly selected me for special screening. So then I finished the screening, all was good, I was just wearing my shoes, and then I get a call. I take the call, and this is what the TSA agent was hearing. So I go like this. Okay, if we get the last 2 items, we'll have everything that we need to complete the final bomb, right? And the TSA agent, his antenna perked up. And to me, it was the most innocuous of conversations. We were in the middle of a network design, and we were configuring our final bill of materials, which we always refer to as the bomb. And my colleague was telling me that the last 2 things are in place. So TSA agent again came up to me, and I got upgraded in my TSA screening to a full body pat down. So completed that. Everything was good. And again I sit down, wear my shoes, I get a call again. Okay. So again, this is what the TSA agent's able to hear. Yes, so we got a parole documents. Now we can leave the country without any immigration problems. Again, the TSA agent antenna perked up. To me, it was the most innocuous of conversations again. That was my wife telling me that we got a document called advanced parole, which was part of the green card process. Right? And this time I was mentally prepared for the jackpot of the TSA upgrades, which was the full cavity search. Thank you very much, folks. That's my time. Thank you.
Keep it going for VJ. Very funny stuff. All right. Your next comic, he is super funny. I really enjoyed having him in class. He's got great material, great delivery, and those 2 things, that's what comedy is. Put your hands together real loud for Kevin Shue.
Thanks, guys. Wow, you have been a great audience. Love making noise. Anyone here like to party? Give us a cheer if you like to party. Yeah. How about the opposite? Does anyone here hate parties? Quiet? Please remain silent. I know that you're there. All right. No, I love parties though. I do. Not the small talk or, the music or the dancing or the people or the light atmosphere. What I really love about parties is setting them up. Like, putting up the balloons, arranging the table, making sure that the silverware is in strict ascending order according to length. Gotta do it. And it's so much fun because it's like you're participating in the party without having to deal with any of the annoying stuff. So I think my ideal party would be to set up a huge shindig and then just leave. This one time I was at a party and I spent the entire time steeling my nerve, working up my courage, because across the room I saw this gorgeous woman, and I thought to myself, oh, if only she would give me a chance, I could get past her and grab some of those chips. But as I walk up to the table, we make eye contact, and she just gives me this shake of disapproval, and I was like, "You're right. These are not good for me," and I put the chips back. So I'm on Tinder. At one time I matched with this woman, but she wasn't really interested in dating. She was really looking for someone to recommend her for a job interview. So I guess she was looking for a syntactic sugar daddy. See, that joke would really only work in this room, and it honestly didn't even work that well. But thank you anyways. I don't know if you can tell from my confident stage persona, but I'm actually a very awkward person. And let me tell you, you never feel more awkward than when you're at the dermatologist's office because you have too much acne on your face. And I think I knew the instant that I walked into the dermatologist's office, I made a horrible mistake, because I was like, wow, this is the hospital for beautiful people. Because, like, all of the people in this room, they had, like, I don't even know why they were there, because they had flawless skin, great hair, they had just come back from work, so they were in, like, nice suits, right? And I was standing there in my work clothes, which were, like, you know, a t-shirt that my dad gave me when I was 12, and a pair of jeans that I'm pretty sure I hadn't washed in over a month. So I was like, okay, this is kind of awkward, but I don't know, I was optimistic. Maybe they just kept the ugly people in the back. So you know, I go on with it. I walk into the doctor's office, and I meet with the doctor, and the first thing she does when she walks in the room is she goes, "Wow, you are ugly." And well, she didn't say that out loud. She just kind of thought it and expressed that to me. But you know, I was like, well, okay, but what can I do about that, right? So you know, she gives me the whole rundown, like lotions, cream, sandpaper, an industrial saw. I mean, it was the works, and I walked out of there feeling confident that it only cost me $500 to look like a normal person. Yeah, so I guess I'll leave you with this last bit. I'm kind of a small guy, right? I'm not, you know, opening pickle jars anytime soon. But and I kind of feel like that puts me at a disadvantage when it comes to negotiations, right? Like this one time I was talking to this guy, and he was like, "Give me your wallet," and I'm like, "Well, that's a persuasive point that you made there. That's, you know, very, very compelling, but okay, how about as a counteroffer, I give you this Starburst?" And he goes, "Well, I'll rip off your face." You know? And I was like, "Okay, you drive a hard bargain, sir, but here you go." But in the end, right, the joke was on him, because that Starburst was delicious. Give it up for Kevin.
Oh man, I don't see Avi here. No. Okay. Your next comic is a very funny guy. He's got great observations. I love hearing his stories. I love hearing his you know, his thinking about the world. It's so good. You guys are gonna love it too. Put your hands together real loud for Fernando Jordan.
So I'm gonna leave you a little secret. Something we learned in the class is that one of the ways to like show and fake that you're confident off stage is you take out the mic, because that displays professionalism. But I'm not about that life. I want to be genuine here. This is stressful as hell. This is. I had a set prepared, but I said no. It was a little bit stressful, and you know, I like this scenario, you know, I'm here, standing in front of a bunch of strangers, talking basically just by myself, seeking external validation. I don't have much experience doing this except on Tinder. And a little bit in therapy. Therapy is also like one of those exceptions where you're just like seeking, you know, external validation. But my therapist was like a piece of shit, to be honest. He just kept trying to put words in my mouth. Like I would tell him, you know, sometimes I just feel like I know what I want to do, but I don't. And then his response is like, oh, like, well, would you say that maybe it's that you have unrealistic high expectations of yourself that are deeply rooted in some insecurity that you never learned to manage because your coping mechanisms so far have just been to like hide in like other vices, which leads to a cycle of anxiety and stress? No, I would not say that. If I would say that, then I don't know why I'm paying you. Like you are the one who's supposed to know. Plus, no, man, I just think I suck at New Year's resolutions. That's pretty much it. And that wasn't the worst part of him. Honestly, the worst part of him was sometimes I thought it was a little bit condescending. Like, he asked me about my phone usage. Now I'm a millennial, so of course the answer is really high, so I lied and made it small. Said like 2 hours, which was apparently still too high. And he said, well, no wonder you have like anxiety. I'm like, what? Like, what does that have to me? I said, well, he scoffs. And I'm like, this guy sucks at his job. But he's like, well, you know, like maybe you don't understand, like because like you're young, but like back in our day, like we didn't like use the phone like in the bus stops or anything. We used to just be. And I'm like, fuck is that supposed to be? What do you mean you used to just be? Like, I take a phone app and it's not like there's an app that it's like, oh yeah, like cease to be like 2.0. Like a loading bar appears and it's like, hey, Fernando's currently not being right now. Please come back in like 5 minutes. No, that does not happen. Like, you're still being. I just choose to be on my phone. Like, and like being like what? Like you're being annoying right now? Like it's cute. Yeah. Anyway, like I didn't like him. He kept saying that I have like an anti-authority disorder. Like I don't know who the fuck you think he is. But yeah, I just ignore him. So I prefer this. I don't have to pay for what. Did have to pay for this. Is like that. But this is cheaper. This is cheaper than therapy. Scotch is also cheaper than therapy. And the thing with therapy is that you like pay like $20, like $200, and like honestly I don't know like if there's a difference, but I do know the difference between a 20 bottle of scotch and a 200 bottle of scotch. For example, if you're drinking from a 20 bottle of scotch, you're just an alcoholic. You don't care. You don't care about the taste. You don't care about anything. You just want to get drunk. But if you're drinking from a 200 bottle of scotch, you also care about throwing your money around. And I think that's a big difference. You're drinking from a 200 bottle of scotch, you're successful. You can afford that expensive alcoholism. Anyway, this was not how my set was gonna go. I was actually improvising like half of this because I did not open my notes in time. Thankfully, that means I can't say like my other good joke, which is where I throw my marketing things that I've learned through other Google classes. You should just Venmo me $20 and I'll send you a copy of my other jokes. No, that's a lie. Like, I'll just probably show up to this class again next quarter and try to get my money's worth because this isn't going that well. What's my time on the clock right now?
Got 1 minute.
Got 1 minute. Okay, so here's another story about things that I don't necessarily know how to do very well. So, I'm Puerto Rican. I know how to be a Puerto Rican pretty well, though. Like, for example, I tell you that I'm Puerto Rican. That's something that all Puerto Ricans do. It's like a requirement. It's in our blood. We need to tell you that we're Puerto Rican. If not, it itches. It's like we need to let you know that we're gonna go home for Christmas vacation to a beach. Like, that's like prime priority. The first time I saw snow, I was 18 years old. We had just moved to Boston. It was snowing. There was like, we were coming back from a party, and all of the Puerto Ricans were like excited. It's the first time we see snow. So like, I'm there, like, just like, I put my hands like this, I'm like grabbing it, making it into like a little sphere of cold, and I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm gonna do the American thing that I've done in movies. I'm gonna turn this into a projectile and throw it into my friend's face. So that's basically what happens. My friend's like, what the fuck you do? Like, I just threw a snowball at you. I'm like, Puerto Rican, I don't know what snow is. It's like, okay, fine. We got into a little snowball fight. It was super fun. The next day, we're like, man, that was fun, but it kind of hurt like hell. It actually hurt like hell because we did not know what snow was until it actually snowed. After we were throwing each other's like ice projectiles all day. Anyway, that's my time. Hope you guys have good holidays without snow projectiles.
Okay. One note. You said that you thought it wasn't going that well. What did you guys think? Oh yeah, dude, that was so funny. You were not looking at, like, some people have laugh ears and then some people have the opposite of that. I think you might have the opposite. You were getting great laughs. You did an amazing job. Well done. And you got your money's worth. Your next comic took the class last time. And she was so funny, and I'm so delighted that she's going to do it again. I'm excited for this. Please put your hands together real loud for Avanti Pronan.
How's everybody doing today? Not very excited, are we? For the men in the audience here, I'll do a good job of explaining my jokes. See, just because you're men, I mean, come on, duh. You don't believe me? So whenever I tell my husband any instruction, I have to give the full detail. Like if I say, can you put the clothes in the dryer? He'll be like, what clothes? Okay, you didn't get it. From the washer, because the clothes which are washed have to be dried. Unload the dishes from the dishwasher. Pick me up from the spa. Okay, maybe not the last one there, but you guys get the idea. But I know what you guys are thinking. That looks like her husband does the laundry and the dishes and everything, so what does she do, right? Yeah? Well, let me tell you guys, that is how marriages work. Wives give out the instructions, the husbands follow them, then we find faults with them. That's how it's like being married. That's exactly like how it's like being married. Me. But there was a time when I did my own laundry. No kidding, seriously. I used to do that. There was a time when we were renting and there was this shared laundromat. Anybody used a shared laundromat here? Yeah? You know, you always end up with an extra pair of underwear. Yeah? Yeah, I know. Pretty cool. That's why my neighbor used to give me the eyes, like, you know. So I go down to this laundromat and I load the clothes in the washer, and you have to put some quarters in. So I just go out for a second to get some quarters in. And I come back and I see this big guy unloading the clothes from the washer. I mean, obviously his wife had not given him instructions, you know. She must have just said, like, when you see the clothes in the washer, somebody else's, just remove them, put them in the dryer. Like, she didn't say that they have to be washed, like, you know. So I get furious. I look at him and I say, excuse me, why are you removing my clothes? And he doesn't understand. He's just looking at me like top to bottom, bottom to top. I'm like, not these ones, from the washer. But I feel like, you know, being in the Bay Area, you just don't fight for laundry and like things like that. Finding a parking space here is crazy. You guys agree with me? Like the only time I wish I were pregnant is not when you see that cute little baby. No, that's when I'm glad I'm not pregnant. Like, it's not my problem. No, the only time I really wish I were pregnant is when I see that empty expectant mother parking spot. Like, damn it, missed it! You know? Or if I'm stalking an ugly guy to his broken down car, it's only when I'm looking for his parking spot. I feel like, you know, finding parking in the Bay Area is like finding good sex. You have to pay for both. Like, I bring up sex because we Indians are very about people's sex lives in general? Like, do you have a good sex life? We can talk later. I'm interested. but in general, we are very interested. So, we don't see the boundary between like privacy or not. So I went to this furniture store one time because we were just remodeling. So I thought we'll get some new furniture. And there was this old Indian lady, And she was like, "Oh dear, are you building a new house? Oh, okay, you are remodeling. Yeah, you look like you need a fresh start in life." I'm sorry, no, I don't need a fresh start. I just need furniture. She goes on. "Are you married, dear? How many kids do you have?" So I say, "One. I have one boy. He's 4 years old. Oh, he's so cute." And she's not interested. She just interrupts me. She's like, 4 years old? Time for another one, dear. From that moment on, I've always shopped on Amazon. Thank you. Thank you.
Keep it going for Monday. That was excellent. So we are down to our final comedian. How's you guys' energy? Hell yeah. Oh, I'm excited about this. This guy, he just finished the class, and he's like a technician with jokes. I love seeing him work with those. Like, he's like toying with it. You can see the process, and then it's like he's got this beautiful thing at the end of it. I am excited for you guys to see him. Put your hands together real loud for Bill Hathaway.
Quite an introduction. I'm a little intimidated. So the first question when my coworkers meet me is, "How the fuck did you get past the interview process?" And they don't realize I had thought about it for a while. And there's only really one thing you need to do to get past the interview process. Does anyone know what that is? You gotta be googly, right? So I was looking on Amazon and I found these and I was like, I fucking cracked this. Googly eyes. I just put 2 of these on my shirt. Everyone's like, "I want to ask you a tech question, but I just can't argue with these." And so that's what I did. And that's the secret to getting here. Now, before I came to Google, I worked for a large, a national cable company. And I don't want to say the name because a lot of people don't like them. But let's just say if you spelled Comcast with a K, it would sound like that. And it was interesting being an employee there because there was 2 things that I found out that I had never heard of before. One of them is that there was no long-term budget problem. Anything the company wants to do, if they don't have the money in the bank, what do? They raise rates of their customers. Right, what are the customers going to do? Switch to another ISP because it's a competitive market? No, they can't. They are captive. So that was kind of cool. But the second thing, well, cool for the company, not for you poor bastard customers. So the second thing was that every employee a couple times a year would get this packet in the mail that had VIP customer support cards. And they were like a golden ticket for customer support because you could actually call and reach people that could solve the problem and not just put you on hold and hang up after an hour and a half. So like they actually worked. I actually helped a couple of friends out, and I helped out some like random people I saw complaining on Reddit. But you needed these. These were actually like important to your job because if you go somewhere and someone's like, "Where do you work?" and I'm like, "Evil cable company," you just get ready for them to say, "Oh, those fucking bastards. They like did this or that, or my cable's been broken and no one can help." And so you just give them one of your cards, one of those special support cards, so while they're looking at that, you can just run away. And if you run out of those cards before like the next shipment comes in, then you don't admit you work there. You're like, "Oh, I'm just an evil henchman," or work for the Trump campaign. Just something horrible, but you don't want to admit to working at the cable company. So now, when I started here at Google, it was nicer when I'd interact with people. Like sometimes you get a little thing saying like, "Oh, Dragonfly sucks," or "Do you watch my porn search history?" And I have to say no. But people don't complain too much because they know that if they complain too much, Google might just fucking cancel it. So if you look at like the support forums, you'll see someone post on there, hey, on Gmail, the mail filters, they're not great. And then like a minute later, someone else will be like, dude, don't say that. You saw what they did to Reader. They're doing it to G+. And I looked on there's a wiki thing, there's 47 Google products have been canceled. So then the person just gets peer pressured into taking it down. They're saying, oh, it's pretty good, I'm fine. Don't cancel, don't cancel. So, how are we doing for time, Jesse?
We got 1:30.
Okay, so I was really sick last week. I mean, it was like biblical. Whenever I was coughing, I would have my hands out getting ready to catch the lung, like put it back in. And like my nose, I was like blowing it so much, it was, get a little bloody there. And I had so many tissues around my bedroom. It looked like it was the bedroom of like a 15-year-old boy. It was who had a cold. Who had a cold? What's wrong with you people? So, but yeah, it was terrible. I could barely get out of bed, and I was so happy that Google lets us have essentially like as many sick days as you need, and I needed them. I mean, like, it was tough. I could barely get out of bed and drive to the Google campus 3 times a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was horrible. Like, people usually like kind of let me go to the front of the line when they saw me, just kind of like oozing as I walked in. But so I'm glad there's no one else that's going to use the mic except Jesse. So do not lick it. Just a fair warning in case there's anything still lingering. So cool. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Great job. Keep it going for Bill. And keep it going for all the comics that you guys saw tonight. Holy crap. That was awesome, and it was brave, and that's something that like people have on their bucket list their entire lives, and they never do it. But these people did it, and they were really good. I mean, if you guys want to keep doing comedy, you should absolutely do it. If that's what you want to do, we can talk about that later. I'm impressed with you, and way to go, everybody. And if you want to stay in the comedy scene on Google campus, you totally can with go/comedy. That is a thing that you can do. And if you're thinking about taking a comedy class, I hear there's a good teacher here. So, thank you guys for coming out tonight.
I lost my bro. What can I do? Okay, we go next to the...
She did, so I was actually sitting at the back. Yeah, she came. Left over.
I said the door.
Thank you. That's
I was going to say jokes like, once I was there, I started by saying, oh, I like this, whatever. But then, I kind of, kicked into everything, threw me off a little bit. The joke that I was going to say, I like when people force themselves into this thing. And I was going to joke about how we basically were like, oh, I know what it is, because I got it themselves. I was gonna be like, yeah, so some people just not even stalking me on Google, and then they were like, hey, I know when and where it is. Do you want me to come?
Take a bottle with you if you want.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.